South Africa. I didn't really want to talk about this, but as you know, the events are unfolding. I've decided, let me say something about this. Let me put my opinion there, how I feel about this whole issue. I've read a story recently about our Minister of Sports, Arts and Culture, Gayton Mckenzie, being denied access in Ethiopia. He was actually denied an entry into Ethiopia. So here's my view. First thing I want to say, do not throw stones at other people's houses when you are staying in a glass house. When you stay in a glass house, do not throw stones at other people. I've warned most South Africans about the sensitivity of the issue of illegal immigration. How, as South Africans, handle this issue will also impact on our future relationship with African countries. Most South Africans who are pushing for illegal immigrants, Abahambe, let them go. Number one, they have never traveled. Number two, are people who don't really have intentions of running businesses abroad. If you are a sane person who still wants to have a good relationship with other African countries, you will not say Abahambe. Abahambe, in short, is a very irresponsible statement, which people like Gayton Mckenzie and Kenny Kunene should actually withdraw from those remarks. They need to find a political pillar for them to stand on to, not this Abahambe issue. It will never take them anywhere. These guys, they forget that they are politicians and therefore they have so much influence on what they say. And they are also people who potentially would want to run businesses abroad, outside the borders of South Africa. When you travel, you go to other countries, especially African countries. They ask you, where are you from? And if you say you're from South Africa, you know what they say? They say, xenophobic. The xenophobias are here. It's bad. I think, number one, I don't agree with Gayton's remarks. He's still, by the way, continuing to issue those remarks that Abahambe. We call Africans foreigners, right? It suits us because they are darker in complexion and then they are poor, we undermine them. We call them foreigners. But white people who are from Europe, we don't call them foreigners. We don't call them foreigners. A foreigner is someone who's not from South Africa. Whether they are here legally or illegally, but they are foreigners. White people who are from America, Italy, and also the Chinese, all of those people, we don't call them foreigners. But our very own brothers and sisters, we call them foreigners. Let me parent you, South Africans, on this issue of foreigners, what. Number one, these people are in our country. I do agree. Some of them, they are in our country illegally, meaning they don't have proper documents. Number two, not all the foreigners from Africa are here to commit crimes. I am living in the squatter camps. I know people who are making an honest living, selling tomatoes on the street, selling fruits, selling scope in Yama, selling some of them, they're just using their hand skills, fixing phones, doing all of that. They are not committing crimes. Some of them are too scared to commit crimes. Not all of them are criminals. Why do we chase Africans? Why do we hate them so much? Because of the color of their skin? Because of their situations? What is forcing those people to leave their African countries there and come to South Africa? They see a potential of making a peaceful living here. South Africa is peaceful. South Africa is democratic compared to their home countries. They find peace here. They are our brothers and sisters, whether we like it or not. Let me whisper something in your ears, South Africa. They are our brothers and sisters. Now, we've got very influential politicians who would publicly stand there and say Abahambe. It's some sort of inciting hatred towards our fellow brothers and sisters. Let us start to understand these people. Let us focus on what circumstances push these people to leave their... No one, by the way, in their right minds will just leave their homes if everything is fine. The circumstances are pushing these people to leave their countries. South Africa, we have two options now. Two. It's either we cause further damage or we fix this issue. Let us reconcile with those people. We need them. They have also played a role in us having this democracy that we enjoy today, that we stamp on over it. We don't even understand what democracy is. They see opportunities. They come to South Africa. They want to find peace. We victimize them. We become violent. We chase them out. Let me be honest with you, South Africa. Foreigners are everywhere. That's number one. Number two, these people, they will not leave. You know why? The circumstances there are worse than xenophobia. They rather stay here and become victims of xenophobia than to go back to their countries. It's rife there. Have you ever seen what is happening now in Mozambique? Have you ever seen the violence there? Will you go back there if you are a Mozambican? These people are going through a lot. And by the way, ANC is about to do what Frelimo is doing to those people. ANC is about to do what ZANU-PF is doing to its own people. These liberation movements, they will dump you. They will turn against you. They will victimize you. Next time, we wouldn't be able to publicly, on a public platform, criticize president. You will be arrested. We are going there, South Africa. So, someone who would say African people are foreigners, they must leave South Africa, they are taking our jobs. I understand the frustration, by the way. I understand. But why do you turn against your brothers and sisters? Your kids will one day work there or have some businesses there. How would you expect your kids to be treated? It's so sad. Now it suits us. Now we can just be xenophobic and do. Hey, the clock is ticking. We are creating a bad reputation for ourselves. Let's stop doing that. Let's not. Musimaimani mentioned something very profound, and I like his statements. He said, now that these people are here, what do? We can't chase them out. How are we going to chase? people who are from other countries, Mozambique, Zimbabwe, Nigeria, Ghana, they are actually almost equal or half of our number. If there's 52 million South Africans here, there's almost 20, I believe so. There's a lot, because some of them were born here, some of them relocated even before 1994. Before 1994, I could speak Sindao, Mamuka say, Wamuka, I used to speak that language because we were living with them before 1994. So we've got their kids who were born here, who were even never been there in Mozambique, in Zimbabwe, some of them. What should happen to them? They've got IDs. Some they went to school. Some are police officers. Our government has actually absorbed them. They have got citizenships. They've got kids with our sisters. Some they are married. Some they don't even want to go back there ever again. They are here. What is going to happen? Are we going to chase them out? It's very hard. It's a difficult decision to make, right? So, if we have a future, a vision about Africa, where do we start? Do we want to be a United States of Africa? Because I hear people talking about one currency, one military force, one president. You sing all these praises. What is the approach to that? What language are we going to speak if we all unite as Africans? Do you want Africans to unite? And I don't agree with Julius Malema, by the way, to say they must find other ways to cross, to come, because it will create chaos. But we can do it in a dignified way. Not to chase people, Abahambe. I mean, why do we call them foreigners, but we don't call Europeans foreigners? Why? Why do we hate on our brothers and sisters? And by the way, if you follow this thing of slavery, we've got our brothers and sisters who are stuck there in America. They are called African Americans. Those are our brothers. By the way, Rick Ross came to South Africa. And when you look at that guy, I out here say cars, man. He out here say cars. But the language differs. Because they are stuck there. How did they get there? During those years of slavery. Because black people were sold around the country to become slaves. Understand your history, and then you will be easy on these people. Mozambicans, all those people who are coming from Africa are our brothers, are our sisters. What do we do? Do we attack them? Do we blame them for our poverty? For our politicians who are constantly lying and failing us? Then do we blame our brothers and sisters? Some of them, they are from Pakistan. They come here and fix phones. So we say they are taking our jobs. Which job? I agree with Malema on that part, that which job are they taking? Selling on the street, is that a job? Labor, when they are bricklayers, they cut our hair. By the way, one of them is cutting my hair. What do we do? Must I stop going to his salon and say, Hamba, Abahambe, bonke? Who's going to cut my hair? I look nice, right? It's one of them who's cutting my hair. The other one fixed my shoes. So if my shoes get torn, I must throw it away because they are gone. Abahambe. Then no one will fix my shoes. Another one fixed my shoes a week ago. What should happen? South Africa, we need to talk about this. Because if we don't, let's stop pleasing one another, man. Yeah? You want to sound like heroes, and the reality is that they are here and they will not leave. What do we do? It's a conversation that we must have for real. If we keep on hating on them, if we keep on treating them like subhuman, I get so much concerned. Your kids will not be able to travel around Africa. I'm not talking about America or wherever, China, that's too far. Around Africa, your kids will not be able to travel because wherever they go in Africa, out of the country, it's so funny because we even call people from Lesotho foreigners. Really? Someone from Lesotho is a foreigner. Someone from Swaziland is a foreigner. Someone from Botswana is a foreigner. I just found out recently that my family originates there in Botswana. How did we end up being in Joburg? It's because of migration. Change of culture, change of languages, everything, cultural marriages and all of that. Then we end up, mixed masala. It's so interesting because we interrelate culturally. So someone from Lesotho is a foreigner. No, they must go. They are foreigners. We need serious education with this. We can't keep on hating on people. Why? Because white people taught us to hate one another. Africa divided, then they can conquer. As much as we preach Africanism, it's not yet Uhuru. Not yet Uhuru. We're still sleeping in shacks. We still continue to be poor. Let me tell you something in South Africa. Even if all these foreign nationals, like you call them foreigners, even if they leave today, you will still continue to be poor. What do you think will change? What is it that is going to change about your life? The problem is not them. The problem is our politicians. They continue to mislead us. They continue to lie to us. They continue to keep us there, packed like sardines in squatter camps. And then they give you grants, handouts. If you go to Ramaphosa now and ask him, what is it that he can buy with 350? He can't explain to you. That man is a billionaire. He can't explain to you how did they reach to a figure of 350. By the way, let's not create a dependent kind of citizens. Why can't they create proper jobs? They hire people. So for Gayton to be denied entry into Ethiopia, I think it's a sign to show that South Africa, we need to change our attitude. We need to have a different approach. Otherwise, we would not be able to visit other countries. I'll close it there, squatters. Thank you very much for watching my content, and I really appreciate it. Let's keep on engaging. Let's keep on engaging. I get so much worried when I see Africans fighting amongst themselves. It's un-African. Thank you, squatters.